What did Darwin think of the peacock's tail? In 1860, Charles Darwin, in a letter to Asa Gray, expressed his discomfort with the peacock's tail, stating, "The sight of a feather in a peacock's tail, whenever I gaze at it, makes me sick." A strikingly vibrant symbol of beauty seemed to trouble Darwin to the point of making him sick, but why? The answer lies in the concept of beauty itself. Beauty, if considered an objective reality, would falsify Darwin's theory. As Darwin himself stated, some naturalists believe that very many structures have been created for beauty in the eyes of man, or for mere variety. This doctrine, if true, would be absolutely fatal to my theory. To counteract this beauty dilemma, Darwin proposed his theory of sexual selection to supplement natural selection. In his book, The Origin of Species, Darwin stated, "Sir R. Heron has described how a pied peacock was eminently attractive to all his hen birds. I cannot here enter on the necessary details, but I can see no good reason to doubt that female birds, by selecting during thousands of generations the most melodious or beautiful males according to their standard of beauty, might produce a marked effect." As his statement "might produce a marked effect" makes clear, Darwin wasn't entirely sure about his claim for sexual selection. Yet when scientists actually put his claim for sexual selection to the test, it crumbled. Researchers from the University of Tokyo, in a 2008 study titled "Peahens Do Not Prefer Peacocks with More Elaborate Trains," after 7 years of study, found that peahens mated with less flashy peacocks as frequently as with the more vibrant ones. As they stated in the study, "We found no evidence that peahens expressed any preference for peacocks with more elaborate trains." So much for sexual selection saving Darwin's theory from the beauty of the peacock's tail. But the problem wasn't just the beauty of the peacock's tail. As Darwin himself alluded to, beauty, in and of itself, poses a significant challenge to Darwin's theory. A challenge that Darwin himself stated would be quote-unquote absolutely fatal to my theory. For Darwin, beauty was merely a subjective experience of the material brain, not an objective, external, immaterial reality. In short, atheists and Darwinian materialists in general are at a complete loss to explain the objective existence of beauty. A vivid example of this is found in a 2013 article titled "Beauty Evades the Clutches of Materialism," an article which looked at a study by a neurobiologist titled "Neuroaesthetics and the Trouble with Beauty." In the article, it is stated Conway and Behding basically give up on the idea that science can explain beauty. In short, after much neuroscientific probing and analysis, the researchers basically threw their hands up in the air and gave up on ever providing a coherent scientific explanation for the existence of beauty. The reason why neuroscience can't ever explain the existence of beauty is quite simple. As philosopher Frank Jackson clearly illustrated in his thought experiment Mary's Room, no matter how much scientific knowledge we have about the color blue, we will not know what the color blue actually is until we experience the color blue firsthand. And as it is with the color blue, so too is it with beauty. No amount of scientific knowledge, no matter how complete, will ever tell you what beauty truly is until you actually experience beauty firsthand. This subjective experience is technically known as qualia, and qualia, via the hard problem of consciousness, is widely held to be forever beyond materialistic explanations. This is where Saint Augustine's argument from beauty comes into play. Augustine stated, "Beauty can be appreciated only by the mind. This would be impossible if this idea of beauty were not found in the mind in a more perfect form." Likewise, Thomas Aquinas echoed this sentiment, asserting that God is beauty itself. As well, Saint Anselm argued that God must be the supreme beauty for the same reasons that he must be justice and other such qualities. And as Albert Mohler explains, when we gaze upon ascetically pleasing objects or witness kind deeds in this world, we are at best seeing imperfect versions of the pure beauty that can only be found in God. Of related interest to Saint Augustine's argument from beauty, in the 2013 article titled "Experiencing Awe Increases Belief in the Supernatural," it is stated, "Awe-inspiring moments, like the sight of the Grand Canyon or the Aurora Borealis, might increase our tendency to believe in God and the supernatural, according to new research." Participants watched awe-inspiring scenes from BBC's Planet Earth documentary series or neutral video clips from a news interview. Afterward, the participants were asked how much awe they felt while watching the video, and whether they believed that worldly events unfold according to some gods or other non-human entities' plan. Overall, participants who had watched the awe-inspiring video tended to believe more in supernatural control, and were more likely to believe in God when compared with the news-watching group. In short, the more immersed in beauty we are, the more the reality of God becomes apparent to us. Thus, in conclusion, it is no wonder the peacock's tail made Darwin sick, and that he considered the existence of beauty to be fatal to his theory. Beauty inexorably and inevitably points to and draws us towards God. The peacock's tail in its vibrant glory stands as a symbol of this divine beauty, a beauty that transcends materialistic explanations of Darwin and points inexorably towards a higher reality. I'll close with Psalm 27 verse 4, which states, "One thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, and to inquire in his temple."